that picture there. All right, let's move straight to another story. Another round of fuel scarcity looms in Nigeria. This time, it may be caused by a disagreement between the Independent Petroleum Marketers Association, IPMAN, and the management of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, over increasing cost of petroleum products amidst scarcity. Speaking on the development, the National Public Relations Officer of IPMAN, Okonlawon Lariwaju, said the current price that the NNPCL is imposing on marketers is too high and might cause another round of fuel scarcity. The IPMAN spokesperson, who said the NNPCL wants to sell petrol at 1,010 naira per litre to marketers, added that the price is even higher than what it sold at its outlets. BKO. Before now, NNPC was the middleman. But after the recent increase, they said that marketers can approach Dangote to go and to directly purchase. But with this statement from IPMAN and all, what is really going on? Explain to me.
Well, I'm really disturbed that the NNPC would want to sell petrol to marketers, independent marketers, at a price even higher than what you are selling at their outlets. Because you are selling at 998 at your Lagos outlets, for example, selling at 1,030 in Abuja. And you are saying they should come and buy at 1,010. That's higher than even the retail price, the direct retail price to the ordinary vehicle owner. So it's marks of trying to profiteer on a big scale to the detriment of these marketers. Because if you sell to them at that price, how much do you then expect them to sell to the ordinary Nigerians? And IPMAN was very much concerned about Nigerians, the possibility of Nigerians seeing them as greedy.
As the bad people?
Yes, as greedy people just want to make money from the misfortune of Nigerians. Because having to buy petrol at such a high price is misfortune to so many people. Many people simply can't afford it. And if they can afford it, especially when electricity is not constant in many communities, people must use petrol. So, at the end of the day, it drills a hole into their pockets. The price at which petrol is being sold now, but it is what it is. Subsidy is not sustainable. There were some Nigerians who sat abroad and were ridiculing President Tinubu for paying subsidy. They said, oh, you said you have removed subsidy, but you are still paying it. We spend a lot of money on subsidy. Because initially when he removed subsidy, many people praised him for the courage. These ones don't want him to get any credit at all. So the moment, as a result of the crash in the value of our currency, the moment the government felt, oh, let's do our best to maintain the current fuel prices, and they began to get NNPC to subsidize the product. NNPC was carrying the burden for everyone. They were the ones shouting on the rooftops, the subsidy is so high. I remember even El-Rufai, the former governor, also coming out to say, we are paying so much by way of subsidy. Now, the government has stopped paying that subsidy, which NNPC called under recovery. What are they saying now? Those who began to make that noise. Because I said something, I said, if you are angry that they've chosen to subsidize this thing so that Nigerians will not buy petrol at a price above 1,000 naira. What are you driving at? What do you want to gain? You want the ordinary Nigerians to buy petrol at higher than 1,000. Government decided to subsidize so that they can buy it around 600, between 600, 650. But you are complaining. You are calling the government names for subsidizing the product. Now that they finally stopped subsidizing, what are you going to say next? Are you happy to see Nigerians pay this much? Because sometimes you do not even know what is the goal of certain people who call themselves analysts. Because for me, whatever will feel pain on the ordinary man, I believe that government needs to do its best to sacrifice to ensure that the common man doesn't bear that kind of burden.
Okay.
And that was what government was trying to do, trying to keep the prices stable.
At a level.
But the people are making a noise. He's paying subsidy. The subsidy bill is higher than that of last year. Of course, it will be higher because the value of the naira
has crashed. True.
So all of these arguments, you ask yourself, to what end? Now government has said, okay, we don't want to pay subsidy anymore. Everyone go and buy directly from Dangote now. I believe that what these guys are complaining about is a little overtaken by events, except that they made deposit of 15 billion. And NNPC had not supplied products. So what will NNPC do now? Are they going to be owing those people too, just the way they are owing different entities? So you have to, since you've taken money from them, you are now saying they should top up what they paid for because the price had changed. I know they will find a way to resolve it amongst themselves, but I believe that even if we are saying the NNPC of today should be focused more on profitability, I believe that it makes no sense to sell petrol to independent marketers above your own retail price, the direct retail price. It makes no sense. That means I don't understand the logic behind that. So these guys have a valid reason to complain the way they are complaining. And I don't know, again, whether the policy of stopping, not being the sole off-taker, whether it has kicked off.
That is the issue here.
So I don't know whether it has kicked off. Because yes, they announced that, okay, from now, everybody go and buy.
But I wanted to ask you something that, in your opinion, would you say that the petroleum industry has now been fully deregulated?
No, if everybody is now being told to go and buy from Dangote, those who can afford to go and buy from Dangote, then the petroleum downstream is effectively now deregulated, which is what the PIA projected. That's what the PIA wanted to see.
Yeah, Section 205.
And we don't want monopoly, so the PIA does not want to see monopoly, then, which means that other refiners
can also,
and then people can also import. They can import diesel, they can import aviation kerosene, they can import kerosene, whatever. Naphtha, they can import.
Okay.
So this is, if everybody is being told go and buy directly, then it means NNPC does not want to bear that burden anymore.
Okay.
And that is why the prices will be much higher than before, and it will have tremendous ripple effects on the ordinary man, on the economy. I still believe that we cannot say that there won't be subsidy in some
So there needs to still be
some sectors of the economy. No, what I'm saying is in some sectors of the economy.
The sectors of the economy. Okay.
I still believe that there should be subsidy. For example, many countries of the world subsidize transportation.
Okay.
Because once you take transport costs away, workers will be a lot more comfortable. A lot of their money goes to commuting here and there. You can imagine. So I still think that, for example, the CNG thing, government needs to subsidize the conversion kits.
Okay.
So that if we want people to convert to CNG, we need to support them. We need to meet them maybe in the middle.
Halfway.
We cannot just say, okay, go and look for money, because it wasn't their fault that prices went up. So we have to, some elements of subsidy must still come into agriculture, you know, by way of fertilizers, seedlings and all that.
Okay.
Subsidy must still come into transportation by way of conversion to CNG, you know, and even removing duty on some of these things that are crucial, so that people can get by and life will be more meaningful for them.
Exactly. CKL, I asked BKO. Nigerians woke up to a new reality with this new price. In your opinion, has the petroleum industry been fully deregulated? Looking at the situation with NNPCL and IPMAN, what are your thoughts on that?
Let me start with NNPC. NNPC told us that they bought petroleum from Dangote at 889 naira. So why the heck are they selling at 1,010? There's something fundamentally wrong. That is one. Two, the fact remains that NNPC is no longer the regulator in the industry.
Is now a player.
And the earlier we get this right, the better for us. NNPC is no longer the regulator. We have regulators for the upstream and downstream. What is the work of those this thing? That used to be the PPRE or something. We used to have
NNPCL.
What are they? What is their work? For NNPC to be determined how much?
Headed by Farouk.
Yes. So these are fundamentals. That is why most often than not, when I talk,
and the PRE has separated them.
They have separated them, for goodness sake. And that is why I always get a bit worried. Because even the ministers that we have, that's
I don't think that they are fixing price. They are fixing price for their outlets. Unfortunately, no, not for everyone. Okay. But unfortunately, because they chose to be sole off-taker.
That is what I'm saying.
Now, you know the reason when they chose to be sole off-taker initially, you know some of the crude oil that Dangote was using, they were bought in dollars. They were not part of the Naira for crude policy. So definitely the price will go up a little bit. NNPCL had to come in to ensure stability and also ensure that we do not pay over the odds. But suddenly they change their mind. You say, you can't continue like this, and say, okay, let everybody go. So at this point, they can't fix price anymore. They can only fix for their own outlets. But because those guys were buying from them.
That is what I'm saying.
And they had already
they were buying. The policy of being the sole off-taker was what made it look like, okay, they are fixing price. Because what they have bought, they are now selling. We said at that time that it was not sustainable. How can you be middleman to Dangote, for example? You have 4 refineries. You now turn from owner of refinery
the fact remains that in the past few years, it's always NNPC that increases prices of petroleum products. And it's a fact. In the last 1 month, NNPC has increased the price of product by 3 times, and that also affects every other sector. That is fundamental. 2 is the fact that NNPC, the IPMAN has over 70% of the outlets in Nigeria, not NNPC. How many fueling stations does NNPC have? So the key players in this industry is IPMAN, not NNPC.
Not NNPC.
NNPC is in the same line with Dangote. Now, question you ask yourself: NNPC is supposed to have refineries.
What's going on there?
Have you known that we've forgotten everything about Port Harcourt refinery that's supposed to come on?
We don't want to give ourselves hypertension.
Nobody is talking about it again. And those are the fundamental issues and that is why I personally believe that he's supposed to be rolling at the NNPC. We have a Minister of State for Petroleum. What is his job? We have a Minister for Petroleum. Who is the President? What is his job? Because some people have come to see themselves as cabal, and whatever they say becomes law. And that is why, for goodness sake, as he said, the IPMAN has paid over 15 billion naira to NNPC to lift petroleum products. And within this, they've raised the price. And they are saying, okay, if you cannot give us at the old price that we pay, give us back our money. Then let us go and look for it. I think this issue has to be addressed. And NNPC has to see himself. And that is why I'm saying that the regulatory body for upstream and downstream, tell me the job. What is the job? What is their job? What is going on? What are they doing?
That's Farouk.
So that is what we should be asking. What the man was saying, he was saying that the Dangote Petroleum was refining, petroleum was not good, and that Dangote was this, Dangote was not that, trying to demarcate until we be able to sort that. And now let us even take the bit for that. In fact, what we land on peace, for goodness sake, in every country, there is nowhere you have everything has to be at market price. Countries subsidize food. They subsidize electricity. They subsidize petrol. What do Nigerians gain from our government? That is the question we should be asking ourselves. Everything is not, we must put it. Electricity, we are not getting any kind of relief on electricity. In food, we are not getting any relief. In petroleum product, what is it? What is the place of government in the lives of Nigerians? And that is the question we should be asking ourselves. Right, so things need to be, we need to look at it. This needs to be subsidized because anything that affects petroleum affects every other energy, everything. That is the problem. So until we get it right on that, but my own, as I'm writing up this fact, let NNPC focus on making sure that its own refineries are working, so that we don't have a monopoly, which is what we're having now. Anything that Dangote says that is going to sell his petroleum, we're going to stick to that. And that is the problem we're going to have. Except
the imports.
Yes, the alternative is for them to import. Or else we are
those refineries, it will take a while before Bua's refinery
come on stream.
Yes, so...
And even the modular refineries, the ones that are in it.
All right, gentlemen, we need to go on this quick break, okay? And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go anywhere. It's still journalist hangout.